What up, Depth Chart? It's your boy, young broadcaster Jared Young, here on the set of the 2 Point Perspective with my co host, Miles on the mic, Miles Sweeney, for episode 44. And today's episode is brought to you by the Texas Tech Gambling Association, where NFL dreams go to die.
That was beautifully said.
Yeah, thanks, Miles. You really nailed that. You really nailed that one.
Well,
Thanks for keeping me honest.
Well, of course. They won't go to die if you're in Texas, though. You just go to a court and you'll be fine. So.
Yeah, as long as 4 out of 5 of those judges are Texas Tech alum, you're fine.
Yeah. Is that rigged? I don't think so. That's fair.
Probably not. There's no collusion.
But yeah, so we're just going to jump straight into Dual Threat Bet. A reminder, June 30th at 6:30 p.m. That is Western Western Conference. That is Pacific time, 6:30.
Western Conference time.
Western Conference time. Where I'm going to nail all 25 free throws, and I won't have to run a single baseline.
Well, you have to run a baseline no matter. Well, I guess
only if I miss,
really don't.
If I miss a free throw, I run it right then and there.
Right. Yeah. You could avoid.
Yeah.
You could avoid all the baselines.
I could do a queen sweep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
Do you think that that's what's going to happen?
No. I'll probably make 24 out of 25.
You think so?
I'll drop a hat, like one hat.
You think so? I was gonna ask what you genuine predict. What do you think the odds are?
I think.
How many baselines do you think you're gonna have?
Oh, I would say at least. Oh man, I would say at least 30.
I was also gonna say 30
because I could see myself missing. Well, normally, and I said this last week.
I should bring a little whiteboard and just keep the tallies there. We should
you honestly should
something big that we can show.
But if I was just doing it normally, no hats, I'd probably only run 7 to 10.
Is there a whiteboard at the club that I can?
I don't know. Not a spare one, maybe. But with the hats being added in, I'm going to say at least 30.
Okay,
for sure.
All right.
So it's going to be fun.
It's conservative of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be.
I was going to say 50, but I'm like, oh my god. I mean, I would have to drop 10 hats multiple times.
We have a hard cutoff, or are we just gonna?
Well, we might cut off the show, but Miles is definitely running all of it.
Yeah, or unless I'm collapsing on the court, then.
Well, I'm trained in first aid, Miles. So.
Oh, you are?
I am too.
God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
My saviors are here.
AED certified couple of guys over here, and
they're looking for lifeguards if you want to get employed again.
I think I'm good, but
I too
CPR too. I think John and I are both CPR certified as well.
Yeah, I got my mask on me and everything.
I too am saving life certified because I was just saying I am Spider-Man. So.
Did you hear what I said?
Look at all of our professions. What'd you say?
I said I wouldn't wear a mask if I had to give you CPR.
That is really cute.
Miles is going to pass out on purpose now.
Before you guys get into the show, do you guys want to address the elephant in the room?
Don't talk about Miles like that.
Ooh!
I just mean, that you guys both walked right out of the JC 2004 spring catalog.
This was not planned. We are both wearing Patagonia shirts, if you can't tell. We both have the logo.
Miles, don't be so coy. I sent him an email.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't planned. But we do like our, what is this color? Beige, tan,
I guess.
Yeah, well, you got
olive-ish.
Miles, you have
Shout out olive.
the tan and then the off-white shorts. But Jared is wearing the tan with the off-white hat, so it's kind of inverse.
Yeah,
if you ignore the olive shorts.
I think you should sit upside down, Miles. I think that makes the most sense.
I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Remember when we were going to do that for a punishment? And
that was a terrible idea.
It was, it
so
was
well, we didn't end up having to do it. But I remember we tried to practice it, and it was horrific.
Yeah.
It was really shitty.
Yeah, no, my 8-pack really shot out after that. But
well, I mean, you did do wall sits for 20 seconds the week before, so yeah, that was pretty good.
And
you did 5 squats, so.
Did I do 5 squats?
I think, yeah.
That was a twerking.
Oh, you're twerking. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've never won a game on here that involved a punishment.
Against
you. Yeah.
We've lost games together where I've had to do the punishment, but you've never beaten me outright on a 1-on-1.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
No, I have not. Well, Dual Threat Bet Season 1, kind of.
Yeah, that's not I mean, I guess that is kind of head-to-head, but I don't count that. I don't count that.
Not even for me.
Not in
Just for
this
my
sense.
sake to say I have one
in
win.
the same not in the same sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That dual threat bet's on its own level.
yeah, I might not have won, but do you think the Miami Heat won with this blockbuster trade involving
Absolutely not.
Giannis Antetokounmpo? You don't think they won? I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And the details of this trade, the Heat are getting Giannis and Bobby Portis.
Well,
and
I actually do think that the Heat did win. I'm sorry. I don't think that the Bucks won in this scenario.
They're getting a lot of role player like bench pieces in my opinion. So but I mean they were never gonna but the thing is they were never gonna resolve that with Giannis in the first place.
I don't think so either, but
I
think
destined to leave.
They obviously had other suitors, right?
And we'll talk about that. Your boys in green
decisions to not go down that route.
But
tell us the details.
Yeah, so the Heat are receiving Giannis and Bobby Portis, and the Bucks receive, get ready everybody, Tyler Herro, Khalil Ware, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Giacochionis, the number 13 pick in this draft that happened a couple days ago, and where they drafted Nate Ament out of Tennessee, I believe 6'10" forward. They swapped, first round picks in 2031 and 2033. They are swapping picks in 2030, and they will be getting a second round pick in 2033. So who knows, man? Miami could be dangerous in the 2030s, and they sign LeBron, and then it's back to basics for them again. But I would say the player quality that the Bucks got is nowhere near the pick quality that they got in terms of draft capital.
Right.
Now I am curious how Miami's going to look with Giannis. He'll be on the hot seat on the Heat. So what do you think? Do you have an analysis for this?
Well, first and foremost, I want to address Kasparis Giacochionis. Did I say that right? That is a hell of a name.
That really is.
That is a hell of a name right there.
And one of the letters has a little hat on it, so it's cute.
Is it the C?
Yeah, the C.
Yeah, nice. But my thoughts on this, I mean, the Bucks had to do what they had to do. I'm kind of sad actually to see Tyler Herro leave Miami. I mean, he was like the guy, finally. And
they loved him down there.
Right. But the Heat obviously had to do something, right? They weren't competitors the way that it was sitting.
Yeah.
I think that this pretty much instantly brings them to a competitor status.
Yeah.
For the Bucks, they're obviously in a rebuild mode. I could see them. They're going to try to build probably around Tyler Herro, and that's going to be the basis of.
It'll be interesting to say the least.
I do know that the Bucks were offered Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks for Giannis. I am kind of baffled that they didn't take that. Obviously, they got a lot more volume from the Heat, but I think more than anything, they were just like, definitely not to Boston.
Yeah, well, and I think that 13th pick in this year's draft played a big part in that. They wanted to get somebody earlier, earlier and now. So I think that played a huge factor. They get 2 more on top of that as well, swapping picks in 2030 and then a second rounder as well with more players. So it makes sense. And I told you this yesterday. Everyone in the Eastern Conference would have hated Milwaukee if they did that trade, because it would have been such an undersell, in my opinion, and you'd be helping Boston.
Right. I'm curious to see now what the fallout is. This is the second time that Boston's tried to trade Jaylen Brown. What is the fallout of this going to look like moving forward for them? Are they, I heard some rumors that maybe he might be on the move to San Antonio, that there are going to be a lot of other teams that are going to be making calls for Jaylen Brown, because what's the culture going to be like now that they've tried to sell him multiple times? What are his thoughts? He pretty much carried Boston through the season until Tatum got back and kept them contenders throughout the season. So, I'm curious to see what that's going to look
Boston's
like.
kind of made their intentions known with that.
Which is unfortunate, because I love Jaylen Brown. It's not something that I want to see. I wish that they could stay together. obviously, if you're going to trade one of the two, it's not going to be Jason Tatum.
No, you're not doing that.
That's your star. And Jaylen Brown could be a number one on pretty much any other team.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'd like to see them stay together, but they're trying to win another chip, and they can't do it with Brown's salary cap. And that's really, I think, what it comes down to is Brown's contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're paying him and Jason Tatum both the max.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't have that.
Yeah. Well, and then you weren't going to be able to take on Giannis too with that anyway. There was going to be you were going to have to give one of them up for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you think if Boston offers Jason Tatum that the Bucks accept?
Jason Tatum and 2 first-rounders?
Mm-hmm.
I think they would definitely be more inclined because then they would have
even coming off an injury like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, because he didn't come back. He wasn't some like Joe Blow when
right.
he came back. He wasn't some.
He came back strong.
Yeah, and he was performing well. I think they would have been more inclined to say yes to that, and they would have had a more proven commodity to build around. Now, I think Jaylen Brown is that proven commodity in a sense, but like we've gotten that sample size of what he is like without Jason Tatum, which you alluded to, which was good. But could that be sustainable when comparing it to getting a guy like Tatum who is going to be that guy?
Right.
So I think definitely more intriguing of a player swap, but yeah, I still think they would say no.
Right.
So
well, we spoke a little bit about the NBA draft. The NBA draft isn't like the NFL draft. It doesn't have all the same hype around it.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while you get a big name player like Wembanyama or a couple years ago, Zion Williams.
Oh yeah, Zion Williamson.
Yep.
That was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, and so every once in a while you get some big hype around these drafts, but typically the NBA draft isn't as big of a deal, which is why we didn't really cover it too much. But I do want to let you guys know the number 1 pick in the NBA draft this season was AJ Dibonsa.
And it's too bad he's not pairing up with Kasparis Giannis.
I know. God, what?
That would be an announcer's nightmare.
Yeah, because let me tell you firsthand, it is.
Yeah.
6'9" freshman out of BYU.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much all we got.
For the draft. I mean, we didn't do a lot of analysis into this draft.
I don't think that there was a
time.
lot to be done either.
I'm more of a I'll see you in the league,
right? Exactly.
Now, and you said this too. There are some guys who going into it, like a Wembanyama or a Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton. And they were in the same draft. There are some like high star caliber players that you will know coming out of March Madness. Or the Euro leagues, and you'll follow that. But
I just didn't feel that way this year.
No, not this year.
There wasn't the same level of excitement. But that can always, I will say though, that can build a lot of depth in the league though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that having down draft years is actually better for the league, because then you get to see these guys break out and see surprises and stuff like that. Whereas when they come in and there's all these major expectations, I actually think that that's not as good for the league, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of diminishing, like especially if they don't perform, you're kind of diminishing the level of entertainment and in the league. Beyond that, though, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Brooklyn Nets, and Chicago Bulls made a trade. We're going to talk about another Minnesota trade here very shortly. But the Brooklyn Nets receive Julius Randle, the number 33 and the number 33 draft pick from Minnesota. The Chicago Bulls received Nick Claxton, and the Minnesota Timberwolves received the number 28 draft pick this year.
Yeah, these 3-team trades just...
You know what? This is one of the better ones. This is very cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about some crazy 3-team trades, and it's like, okay, who got what?
Yeah.
And so this was kind of nice, actually.
You have to reread it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
This one is pretty cutthroat.
Yeah.
But I really don't have too much to say about this. Like, is it too extreme to just be like rearranging furniture on the Titanic? Like, it's just, I mean, the Timberwolves, they're obviously going to be very, like under a microscope now because of this trade we'll talk about soon.
Right.
But I mean, the Nets and the Bulls, they're still trying to find their footing here. So really where Randall went to Brooklyn is kind of going to be the spearhead of that trade for sure.
Right.
But I mean, he's going from a contender to a team that's trying to rebuild and find their footing again. So my favorite is when they send cash.
Right.
The 3-team trades where it's like these 2 teams get picks and players, and then one team just give me the money. I just want the money. Speaking of wanting the money, Austin Reeves signed his contract.
Yeah. Before we get into Austin Reeves, John, you had a question for us?
Yeah, I was just I know it's obviously we just got done with the championship and we still have several months before the season starts, but just given some of the roster shakeups that we have seen just now, do you guys think that the Knicks are still going to go into this upcoming season favorites?
Yes.
Or do you think that there are any rosters that are contenders, at least in their division?
Well, I mean,
I actually don't think that the Knicks are going to be favorites going into.
They'll be a favorite.
Yeah, they'll be a favorite.
But I mean, you got the Thunder and the Spurs, and then now Miami, like Giannis. Right. That's going to be. But I mean, this is all preseason, off-season Vegas odds with these trades. Like Miami could be a shit show next year,
and the champion is always going to come in as the favorite to start.
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
always. But the Knicks will definitely be a favorite. And they're I don't foresee their roster changing much, if at all.
No, if anything, it's probably going to get better.
Yeah,
but better with younger talent.
Exactly. So I think we're gonna
like huge cap things going on. They're pretty set right now where they're at.
Yeah, I think you'll have the power 3 of like Knicks, Thunder, and Suns. Kidding, and like Spurs. So I don't foresee it changing a lot. But yeah, these trades make a difference, and they motivate Vegas to inflate those odds.
You forgot one, by the way.
Oh yes, the Charlotte Hornets, because we are going to get to that trade as well.
Man.
But first, Austin Reeves got his contract.
Yes. 4-year, $185 million max.
Yes. And so I think, and he declined his player option as well.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I mean, he was getting $14.9 million, right? Why would he take that when he can he's going to be making 50 plus every single year for
and
the
he
next
tests
4
the
years.
market.
Right.
Like it gives you that freedom. Now he was never going to get 50 mil a year. And he
40 plus million.
Yeah, for the max.
Mm-hmm.
So he was never going to get that. He definitely wasn't going to get it from the Lakers.
Right.
That's for sure. But yeah, you decline that, test the waters, see what your market is entailing, and then you could bring that back to LA if he wants to stay there and then negotiate down, which looking at those numbers, he definitely did. But I mean, that's the motivation. He wants to stay in LA. He wants to play beside Luka, finish out with LeBron's career, maybe if he's going to stay there. But I think this was probably the better option for him, for sure. He's still making a lot of money.
Right.
And he's going to stay on a contender. And he's still such a serviceable player. Now, coming back in these playoffs, he played horrible. He was not good coming back from injury.
Well, again, coming back from injury.
But he'll build on that.
But he had a great season leading up to it.
Right? Yeah. So he got his money. Good for him. And, we'll see how the Lakers look next year, because
I kind of feel like the Lakers also forced him out there a little bit during the playoffs, right? And Luka was also down during that time, and they're like, man, we gotta have something.
Yeah.
LeBron can't carry it all, and so that could have also played into it a little bit. But yeah, he had a great season leading up to that.
Yeah. Well, and you're coming back against the Thunder,
right?
I mean, come on, give the guy a break. But this one just happened today, and this one, I really don't know how I feel about. Now, LaMelo Ball, we've heard for the last couple days that Charlotte was going to shop him. His days in Charlotte were over, and Minnesota was in the trade market looking for a veteran point guard to pair up with Anthony Edwards. Veteran point guard with playoff experience,
right,
to pair up with Anthony Edwards. And LaMelo Ball was not the first one to come to mind. when I read that. And
who were you thinking of?
I really don't know, but LaMelo is he fits the mold, yes, but in terms of his play style, I'm really curious how it's going to look with Anthony Edwards.
I think for Minnesota, I think it's a great deal.
Well,
I think that it's awesome.
Well, and
for Charlotte,
yeah,
I'm kind of in disbelief that they finally look like they might be like starting to turn things around.
Yeah.
And then they shop their best player.
Yep. Yeah, because they're trading LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps.
Yeah, not even a first. They're just swapping.
Yeah. And those are coming in 2028, 2029, and 2030, and 3 second-round picks in 2029, 2032, and 2033.
So they get LaMelo for a first-round pick and a bag of chips.
Essentially, yeah. Title of the show. But I think I have to wait and see. I'm not going to give an analysis on what I think, because I think this pairing, this backcourt, might not work.
Why do you feel that way?
I just think with the play styles, I could see it not meshing very well. But I do know that LaMelo...
I think LaMelo plays pretty unselfishly, though.
He can set the floor, for sure. And Ant is going to have somebody outside of... did he play with Rubio? I can't remember. But Mike Conley, if I'm not mistaken. He's had those veteran point guards who can't help take over the scoring slack. So that's why I just want to say I'll wait and see, because I said the same thing about Luka going to the Lakers, and that has worked out great. So I just, in terms of analysis, I'll wait and see, and it'll be hindsight 2020. But
I hope it works out for them. I think that it probably would have been good for them to bring in a more vet guy, somebody a little bit older, that maybe can tame Ant a little bit, maybe knock him down a couple pegs, but we'll see.
How old do you think LaMelo Ball is?
He's pretty young. Let me see. He's got to be 22, 23.
He's 24.
Okay.
So he born in 2001.
How old's Ant?
Ant, I believe Ant's going to be like 26 or older.
Okay.
But yeah, he's definitely more seasoned.
I feel like...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's 24 as well.
Okay.
So this is a very young backcourt.
I feel like LaMelo has a little bit more maturity than Ant does. LaMelo's also had a lot less help throughout his career. So it's going to... I think you're right. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic is there. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully Ant doesn't take this personally. Like they're trying to win a chip. You know what I mean? They're trying to win with you. It's not like I'm trying to replace you or anything like that.
No, I'm sure he's ecstatic about this trade.
Yeah, I would hope. I would hope so.
And I mean, it hurts to.
Like we've just known him to be kind of immature. So.
And he's only losing one teammate in Naz Reid.
So. I'm curious now. So now we've kind of started to see some movement here around the league, right? Post season. Do you think that Ja's going to move anytime soon? I mean, Minnesota wants him
out. Memphis.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We're just talking about Minnesota. Memphis. The Grizzlies.
I don't know what team would be willing to take on that headache.
Yeah.
Because
man, he could be so good if he just wasn't.
He could be
such a
so
piece of
good.
Shit.
But he makes the stupidest decisions.
Yeah.
And he's a little injury prone as well. But he is dynamic as hell.
Yep.
He is fun to watch.
Yes.
Now,
I think his off the court issues though have blatantly held Memphis back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he wasn't dealt at the deadline. He's a name that's going to be floated out there for a while.
You know where I could see him going? The Warriors. Move him to the Western Conference, outside of your conference, right? Put him with a group of veteran guys that know a lot about winning and know a lot about playoffs and maybe not so much composure, Draymond Green. But Steph Curry, right, is a guy who knows a lot about composure.
John Morant and Draymond Green on the same basketball court, wearing the same jersey.
Yeah, Sabonis is probably going to get his chest kicked.
It's raining technicals. This is going to be raining technicals. But
the most penalized team in the NBA.
But I just don't. I don't know. I don't think he would go to. I don't know if Golden State would pull that move either.
Well, I'm sure the Suns have an opening over there.
The Suns do, and they get floated out there a lot. I mean, they were floated out there for Giannis and Ja.
I think they should bring Kevin Durant back.
No, that's fine. Yeah, just that. It's just you're taking on a headache. You're bringing a guy over who you have to worry about outside of the basketball court.
But you know, if you can give him a fresh start, right? Surround him by veteran players, and the Warriors are in a position where they're ready to rebuild, right? Steph Curry's going to age out. Draymond Green's going to age out, and you're going to be left with Jimmy Butler, who is not a spring chicken himself.
Yeah.
Right? And they're kind of in a position where they're either going to win with this team or they're going to break it down and they're going to start rebuilding, because otherwise they're just wasting time and money.
Well, why do we think they brought Steve Kerr back? You know, that they're trying to strike. I don't want to say while the iron is hot, but while the iron is there.
While the iron exists.
Yeah, while the iron exists. Like,
I think that they need to Steph Curry is not getting any older, and he's facing injuries now too.
Yeah.
They need to have somebody in there that can run the floor.
Yeah, that's true. I'm curious how the backcourt would work with, because the offense is still going to tailor around Curry.
It is.
So then Ja being the floor general with such a dynamic shooter, I really wouldn't even put a label on point guard, shooting guard for those guys. But
bringing Ja in, though, and giving an aging Steph Curry an opportunity to sit the bench when he needs to, right? And not forcing him to play a full game because they don't have anyone that can sub
right
at that point could be so beneficial to that Warrior team.
Yes, that was what made their dynasty so great.
Right.
They had the depth and the top heavy power. So I just don't think Golden State would make a move for that, but it is intriguing. But yeah, it's been a pretty hefty 48 hours.
Yeah, and we'll see. Hopefully it's not over. I'd love to see a few more moves. Maybe not Jaylen Brown, but
did you see that during draft night for the second round there was only one player that was selected that was stick and picked from their team? The rest of these picks got traded to different teams.
Really?
There was only one stick and pick, I'm pretty sure. Or up until that point. There might have been more. But only a handful of guys were stick and pick.
Of draft night movement, for sure.
Yeah, and once you're getting into the 2030s, it's kind of that's the next GM's problem. I might not be around. But yeah, a lot of movement for sure. A lot of movement for sure.
A lot of movement, Miles.
Yeah. How about we move into our first game of the day? We are all done with the NBA.
And now Miles' voice cracking.
And well, it might still come up. I'm a growing boy. But we're gonna kick off. We're gonna kick off our NFL portion of the episode with another immaculate grid. We have done a handful of these. This is today's grid.
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, top left, John. Niners and Dolphins.
Just for the
Ted Ginn Jr. is also a good one.
Just for the viewers at home who maybe don't know what this is, you want to give a quick rundown of how this game works?
Yeah. So basically, we have 9 squares that we have to fill, and we've got 9 guesses. So we essentially have to go through and pick a player name that either played for both of those teams, or only played for one team for one of those teams.
Correct. So, yeah. So a player, and they have to have played a regular season game for them. So any signings or trade that happened this offseason wouldn't count.
You down to go Raheem Mostert to kick us off?
Raheem Mostert, Niners, Dolphins. That's an easy one.
Super duper easy. What is not easy is how to spell that name.
R-A.
Raheem. Perfect. Second one.
Mostert. Mustard. Niners and Rams.
Look at that guy's little sly smile.
I know.
Niners, Rams, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
Now, these ones, I really only try to go as niche as possible, when I'm fully confident.
I mean, Nick Bosa or Fred Warner.
Yeah, if we just want to complete the Niner segment, only one team. Who do you think would be more niche? I think you could dig deep down and think of a player that's not as popular as them, that's only played for the Niners.
Renardo Green.
Do you want to pull that? Because I like the Brock Purdy's and Bosa's and Warner's are probably going to be like high 40s, 50s.
Yeah, let me think of somebody in the secondary.
While you think of that, John, Browns, Rams, bottom middle, Baker Mayfield.
Look, I might not know that much about sports, but I know the team logos at least.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
I didn't.
Don't embarrass me.
I'm sorry to disrespect you. I'm sorry.
I know which one the Browns are. I know which one the
Listen,
Rams
if I'm ever producing a show for you on an esports pod, you will have to direct me to the teams.
I got a good one for the Texans.
Okay, wait. Who is going here with the Browns and the Rams?
Baker Mayfield.
That's a good one.
Wow. Okay.
John, for the Texans and Dolphins, we're gonna go with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wait,
yes.
This team's called the Dolphins?
Yeah, right there, John. Yeah, you see the dolphin?
Go down a couple boxes actually, if you could.
This isn't the Miami Porpoises.
No. Well, they're referred to as the Miami Fishies. So
The Fishies. Okay, sorry. What was the name?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a pretty universal guess on this game.
Yeah, you could probably plug him in
almost
on any of them.
Almost every grid, you could probably plug him in.
Wait, I'm doing this right? The Texans and the Porpoises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Porpoises.
Fitzy boy.
Fitz magic.
Browns and Dolphins.
Browns, Dolphs. Let's see.
Did Odell play in Cleveland?
No, but Jarvis Landry did.
Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis, you jork it a little.
Jarvis. Okay.
Nice, very nice. Okay, all right. They only played for this team. Okay, for the Texans, what do you think about David Carr? Did David Carr play for any other teams?
He might have. I'm not too sure. I think that's a risky one. I mean, because we could always just throw a CJ Stroud out there if we're not sure.
It's true. David Carr would be an elite pull though if it
would
out.
be.
I just don't know if he played for any other teams. I can't think of him ever.
We could save that one.
Okay.
We think of Texans Whams.
Texans Whams. Let's see. Who played for the Whams?
Did Tutu Atwell go to Houston?
I don't know. Who else? Is there like a D lineman?
Maybe. Here, while you stir on that,
okay.
John, we'll do Browns only one team. Let's just do Carson Schlesinger.
Has he played a game for them?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yes. Look at that, 2%.
Because I didn't want to be like Myles
pull.
Garrett, you know. Texans.
Well, Myles Garrett didn't play for. Well, I guess he has only played.
Yeah, it wouldn't count for the.
You're right.
Okay. Have you thought of a niche Niners one?
I'm
trying to think too.
What about Ronnie Lott?
Lonnie Watt. You for sure about that?
Well, now I get nervous every time now.
We could always run a Brock Purdy.
Nah, you know what? Run it, John. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, that's tough.
We
could still keep guessing and use our two remaining.
And it sucks because I know, we have other players.
Yeah. Texans Whams. I really can't put my finger on that.
I don't know
I feel
either.
like there's gonna be an obvious one.
Give me Renardo Green for the top right for the Niners.
Oh, 0.2. That's good.
Should have just done it from the.
You said
from
that
the
one
jump.
earlier.
I know.
Too,
I should have just
you?
done it from
yeah.
the. Miles made me nervous. He made me nervous about trying to make a more elite pull.
I didn't.
Who else
I didn't think it was gonna be that rare.
Well, look, that's not.
I think David Carr for the Texans.
Do you? Okay, let's run that. You can get your run back.
Only.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who else did he play for?
Can you, John? No thanks. Maybe later, because I want to see. Scroll down. I want to see who the one more. Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. I guess he did play for the Rams. Yeah, and
he did.
Dang, that would have been a good one, for sure. Fitz though. Fitz was high up there.
Yeah, he was. I think we got 4 or 5 of the most popular.
Yeah,
We got 4, I believe.
We got Raheem, Garoppolo, Fitzy Boyd, Landry, and Baker.
Baker. Yeah.
You didn't do Baker, did you?
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's too bad.
All right, yeah, not whatever.
No,
I think we're over.
I think we did okay though.
Yeah,
we did all right.
I think we did.
What's
it
our
rarity was 432.
Is that good?
I really don't even know how the scoring works. The sum of the percentages. Okay, so lower the better.
So not very good, but only because we have 2 empty cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would have been like 250 range or something like
Probably.
All right,
Yeah.
whatever.
But that kicks us off into our NFL segment of the day, where there have been some moves made there as well. Jared, do you have one you want to start us off with?
Yeah, this isn't a move, but Kyle Pitts gets signed to a 3-year, $54 million extension by the Hawks. Or not. Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm sorry,
Different
guys.
bird.
I'm all out of whack.
Different
today.
bird, same city.
Falcons. 36 million guaranteed. Why did I put Hawks? That's crazy.
You have basketball on the mind.
I know.
I like this signing.
Okay, to be fair, it was Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I was out there. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Same city, different bird. I like the signing. I do.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, like, he hasn't shown you what you expect of him through 4 years, but
he also hasn't had a great system to do it in, though.
No, he hasn't. And but he played well last year in spite of that, playing under Zach Robinson and Raheem Mostert. Wait, no, Raheem Morris. God,
Raheem Mostert.
But this is the market now. And, like, you're getting 18 a year, and Kevin Stefanski is coming from Cleveland with a very tight end heavy set. They're going to be running the ball using Bijan. Kyle's going to be. I think he will grow as a player, and he'll be utilized the best he has in his career, especially after coming off a year where he had more production and better production. So I think this is a good signing for sure. And this is just what you got to pay your players now.
Right. I agree. All right. After weeks of drama surrounding Mr. Brendan Sorsby and the supplemental draft, the NFL has decided to not hold a supplemental draft, meaning Brendan Sorsby will have to wait until 2027 to start his NFL career. The NFL sent him a note. They sent him an email and let him know that they're not going to hold the supplemental draft because they don't have enough time to investigate his bullshittery. And they were very professional about it, but they were basically just like, "Fuck you, dude. We're not doing this for you. You're not just going to escape to the NFL after the bullshit that you pulled over there."
And I'll read like what it is that they said. I'll just read that first. So the specific reasons the NFL listed in their little breakup letter with Brendan Sorsby were integrity concerns. The NFL stated that gambling related issues tied to Sorsby's college eligibility were too closely tied to the league's core integrity interests. So, NFL does not take to gambling very well.
Right.
They never have and they never will. So
does the NFL have a similar rule or like an identical rule, or is this just like a principle thing?
In terms of like punishment,
No, just like
Oh yeah, no,
like
you
an
can't. You
anti-gambling
can't
rule.
gamble.
you can't.
If
If
you're
you're an NFL player, you can't
yeah, if
gamble.
you're a professional
Yeah.
athlete.
on NFL.
I believe on anything.
That
you for
don't
sure
know.
you
I
for
know
sure
it's
cannot
for
gamble
sure.
NFL.
Yeah, I know it's for
Yeah.
sure not football.
But
Okay, so there is some grounds for this decision. It's not
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
it's not an optics thing.
No, for
well,
sure.
and Brendan
Well,
Sorsby,
it's probably both, right? They don't want to deal with the NFL doesn't want to deal with the backlash of this either, especially after the mess that they made. And I think too that if Brendan Sorsby had just accepted it if in the first place and just gone to the NFL, it may not have become such a big thing. But I think, John, to your point, that because of all of the drama surrounding it, of him trying to regain eligibility, of him going through the courts and pushing for all of that, that put a massive stain on him and Texas Tech, and it really blew everything up.
Yeah.
And so now, because it's so well known, like I didn't even know, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even know who Brendan Sorsby was before the NCAA ruled on his appeal. If he hadn't appealed, if he had just accepted it and moved on to the NFL when the draft was going in the first place, I probably wouldn't have even really known as much about it as I do.
There would have been
Right,
a lot less friction.
Yeah, and so now you've got the public eye, right? You've got all of college football who's against this guy. That's a massive, massive thing, and yeah, he pretty much cooked himself. And I don't see him getting drafted in 2027 at this point.
I mean,
I think his career's over.
Oh, I don't know. I think teams would have used a high bid on him. Now he's not going to be.
Right,
he's not going to be coming out of a
for next season. Not a year from now, right? You haven't played. You're not going to play.
He's not going to play for a year.
Yeah, you're not going to play in a full speed contact game. Yeah, no way.
No.
I think something interesting to point out here, this is just kind of a blanket statement overall, just in sports in general, is that controversy in sports, especially surrounding specific athletes, only goes as far as that player is able to win or perform. So I think if you're an organization in the NFL and you're given the opportunity to pick up a strong player, even though you might be potentially facing some backlash, I think that there is definitely, I think we live in a world where if Brendan Sorsby comes in and just starts crushing it, people are going to forgive his past transgressions pretty quickly if he's bringing them wins.
And the here's the thing, and I want to put this out there. Think about Brandon Ayuk right now. No team will trade for him, even though he is a great receiver, right? But no team is going to trade for him right now because he is a cancer to the locker room, right? He's a distraction. If you're going to bring in Brendan Sorsby and then now you have issues in your locker room, that's becoming a distraction. You're not going to win. It doesn't matter how good your team is if you have issues inside your locker room.
Well, I think that's different though, because Brandon Ayuk is a danger to team chemistry. He's an asshole. And like you bring in a very aggressive or controversial personality into a team sport, there are some legitimate concerns in regards to like your actual team chemistry and your team building. Whereas Brendan Sorsby is like, his controversy is surrounding him doing some things that are morally either condemnable or at the very least kind of shady. But I don't know that you can apply the same reasoning, because just because he did some gambling and broke the rules doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be like a vibe terrorist.
I think it's the distraction factor though, right? You're taking away from the focus on the game, on the field. If you're getting tons and tons of media, I'm sorry, but we live in a world where media is everything. And so if you're taking away from the actual game, right, it's hard enough for these guys to focus just playing right now as it is, right? With all the distractions that are out there, they don't need anything else, including their teammate, causing issues.
The only rebuttal I will have to your Brandon Ayuk point, which is true, Brendan Sorsby plays quarterback, and there are some quarterback desperate teams who have been in purgatory, who, if they are given an opportunity to take a swing at that, the Cardinals 100% would have put in a bid for Brendan Sorsby.
I agree, but it makes it even worse because that's supposed to be the leader of your team. And if the leader of your team doesn't even have integrity and the leader of your team, your quarterback, is having off the field issues, how can you expect him to focus? How can you expect the teammates around him to focus when he is the spotlight, but not for positive reasons?
That's the double-edged sword,
right?
With like the quarterback
That's
being
your
your leader of
leader.
the franchise, but he's also playing the most important position where he has these intangibles that would make him a premier day 1, early day 2 selection in a normal draft.
And if he's willing to risk his college career already, why would you take a chance on him, put him in a premier position where he's supposed to be leading your team? Thank you for the chud notice. He's supposed to be leading your team, and now is he going to take a risk mid-season, or is he going to be found out for something else, and now you're going to be left without a freaking quarterback, or you're not going to be left without the leader of your team, allegedly? Like, those are all things that these guys are taking into account, and there's a lot of other good quarterbacks out there that can also take over. And, if they're going to crash and burn this season anyway, even if they did bring him in, why not just wait a year and bring in a rookie quarterback? There's going to be tons of rookie quarterbacks next season. Next season is going to be a really good quarterback draft, I think.
I think I do agree that like he was stupid to do that. He was stupid to do that. The way he handled it was not.
What does that say about his decision making?
Yes, that is true. But we also see this is a league full of players who beat women, domestic violence, sexual assault, all that kinds of stuff, to where the NFL, where they made the right decision, I think not rewarding Sorsby with the supplemental draft because of his actions. They're doing what the NCAA couldn't do. Not that they didn't want to do it, but they were strapped. The NFL is taking over in terms of that.
I also think
punishment.
The NFL has come a long way as far as how it handles domestic abuse and different issues like that from NFL players.
This is just a good opportunity to point out that Ben Roethlisberger played for 12 more seasons after his.
That is correct.
And he didn't retire until 2022. And that was of his own accord. So something to consider in how the NFL really values the controversy of a player's reputation over their ability to draw in revenue, essentially.
Yes, it's all about money.
Many ways.
I think that's fair.
James Pierce Jr. will play this season after his scandal recently. Rashee Rice just got bailed out of jail, and he's going to play football for, if not the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to be playing football in the NFL. And, so I want to go back and say I think the NFL did the right thing here, but I do think it's a little ironic that the foot being put down here seems to be heavier than some of these guys who commit way, way worse crimes, more morally unforgivable crimes in the league, and they still get to come back and play and make millions of dollars. But, it all goes back to taking the risk. If you were going to take Brendan Sorsby, you knew what he did. You have to worry about him doing it again. The distraction factor, the leadership quality in terms of that being a storm cloud over your organization's head. I understand it, but some of these owners and GMs of teams that are in quarterback purgatory would have been willing to take that shot, 100%. Now, but then we look back at Shador, we both scratch our heads why he didn't go earlier than he did. So it's just, there's no rhyme or reason with this league. So it really can just boil down to an owner or a GM or a coach on the hot seat willing to take that risk.
Here's what I'll say. Even if I agree with your point, if he's off the field for a full year, if he doesn't get
what is he doing?
Yeah, well, he's not going to get picked up. He's not going to be playing at the same level, right? He's probably going to have tryouts. He's probably going to have all different types of opportunities for scouts to come check him out, right, for the 2027 draft.
And I'm sure
and
Texas
he's
Tech
not
would
gonna get
host it.
drafted because
Yeah.
once you're off the field, once you're not playing at full speed, full contact, all of that stuff, there's no way that you're going to keep up with the level of competition that's going to be coming in. He might get picked up as a free agent, but he's probably not going to get drafted.
I think that's why he was stupid to handle it the way he did.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is still more. John, if you have another statement or question,
Yeah,
I do have more from the outline of what the NFL gave to Brendan Sorsby.
I guess I just wanted to. I agree with you, Jared, in that like with the talent most likely being so much stronger next year, there's almost no chance anybody picks him up over like a more promising prospect
Without off the field issues.
Yeah. Well, especially because it's like in any sport, like even taking a year off can be like career suicide unless you have like a major like level of reputation or clout.
Prime example, real quick, Le'Veon Bell, right?
Mhm.
Sat out, was never the same.
Yeah, and I think that the frustrations are totally justified. And I think in terms of like the NFL's ruling, I think if anything, it's not necessarily a bad ruling. I think it's just it looks bad because it's inconsistent. And
I mean, I don't know if I'd say inconsistent with that. I think that like maybe they're not taking other things as seriously as they should, but I don't know if I'd call it inconsistent with other gambling issues that.
Well, yeah, but inconsistent across like punishable rulings across the board.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that frustration comes from the fact that this feels, at least from my perspective, a little performative from the NFL, because I think that organizations in the NFL would have been willing to take the risk, and so that could have potentially just been backlash that they would have had to pick up. But I think the NFL stepping in and just saying, hey, we live in really controversial times right now, and this is a really high profile case, and so we're just going to say no just to kind of get ahead of it.
I also feel like
it doesn't feel good.
I also feel like somebody with money from the NCAA side was like, "You're not going to do this, right?" Like the NCAA and the NFL are a partnership.
Oh yeah.
They're funneling you your talent,
Mhm.
and there's probably something there that somebody was like, "You're not going to hold the supplemental draft."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that has something to do there. But if you're cool, I'd like to move on. I got something that we didn't talk about yesterday.
That's fine.
That I thought was kind of funny. So NFL referees are actually now going to be demoted for poor performance to the UFL.
Yes.
Yep. Which is hilarious because I still want to see him get up on the podium.
They need to get up on the podium. And you and I have talked about this plenty of times. I think fining them is ridiculous, but they need to be held accountable some way, and this is a part of that way.
Right. Well, and they're going to make way less money in the UFL if they get demoted.
Yes, that is true. So they need to be on their A game for sure. Because
no more fucksing around, guys.
No, because it's not. Officiating doesn't plague only the NFL, but people are sick of watching. You get fresh off the NFL season, and then you jump straight into NBA playoff basketball, and it's just a disaster.
Right.
A disaster. And then now NBA is over. You're going to jump right back into the NFL, and it's like, okay, this officiating problem, obviously they're not like tied together in any way, but from a viewer perspective, it's going to hurt both of these leagues, and they need to get it fixed because it's ridiculous.
Well, I love this. I love that they're finally holding these officials accountable. I think that it's going to be really, really funny when one of these guys makes a really bad move and or seems like something fishy's going on, and then they get demoted to the UFL.
Cleet Blakeman down to the UFO. Yeah.
I think they should start doing that with teams, right? Like the Cardinals.
No, I mean
they should. I think they should.
You want to bring relegation into the
they
NFL?
should relegate teams.
That would hurt so bad. No, the Arizona's such a beautiful
your UFL
spot.
jersey ready, Miles.
Hell yeah. But this is a step in the right direction for sure.
I agree.
And hopefully it has a noticeable effect pretty quickly.
Here's something that I think. Here's an opinion that I have.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in the top 5 of the NFL draft 5 years in a row, you should be relegated.
I just don't know.
If you can't get your shit together in 5 years, you don't deserve to be a professional team.
But how would a UFL team get their shit together in 5 years? Realistically,
To get up?
yeah. If the Cardinals and the Hoosie Mawatsis got swapped, and the Hoosie Mawatsis then are they going to inherit? Are they just going to swap rosters? Are they gonna what
Why
is
would
that?
they swap rosters? They'd be just as shitty.
So then
They're
going to have to pull from. Are they going to do an emergency draft with all the other teams? Are they going to how's the roster construction?
They'd bring the whole roster up. One roster would go up, the other roster would go down.
That team would get destroyed. There's a reason why they play in the UFL.
You say that now.
There's a reason why they play in the UFL.
You say that now, Miles.
So
well, then it'll fix itself, right? Because that team will go back down.
And then it'd just be an endless cycle until maybe you get the one Cinderella story.
What I'm saying, Miles, is that the Cardinals suck, and that
I know they do.
They should get their shit together and stop being a poverty franchise.
I agree.
Along with the Jets and the Dolphins and
The Browns.
The Browns, yeah.
Cardinals draft Brendan Sorsby next year. You will not regret it. But yeah, there's no way they would just. The NFL 100 times out of 100 would just do an expansion team over a relegation.
It'd be so fun, though.
It would be fun, but I'd be scared. I would live in fear every year.
Coming from somebody who watches an esports league that does relegation, it is not awesome.
It's not awesome.
It is not awesome.
Tell us more.
Well, the thing is that how do I say this? It feels bad because
It's supposed to feel bad.
Yeah, but other orgs have so much more capital and therefore like have more resources to build more competitive rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you have similar issues in I mean, I can't speak to like the NFL or the NBA specifically, but I do know that like you see this issue a lot in Major League Baseball, where the organizations with the most money end up building some of the more competitive rosters. And when you introduce relegation into a league that doesn't have like a salary cap or
the NFL does have a salary cap.
Okay, well,
they definitely have a salary cap, and here's my issue with it, John, because I hear what you're saying, right, and that's why baseball can't do it, because in baseball there's absolutely poverty franchises. The A's are like a very prime example of that, but the owner of the Arizona Cardinals,
Michael Bidwell,
is a piece of shit.
Yes.
And he could absolutely put more money into their roster. He could absolutely put more money into
everything,
the team as a whole, and put more money into a better GM, right? Just make better decisions, and he's just making poor decisions. And I'm not trying to shit at this point. I'm not shitting on you.
Shit
Miles.
on Michael Bidwell all you want. I do this every day.
Same with the Browns, right? The same thing. All of these teams, and the owner of the Jets. The Jets have been one of the worst teams in like NFL history, and Woody Johnson is one of the richest men like on the planet. Like he's got to be like top 100, right? Like this guy is just choosing to have a shitty team. That should not be allowed. That's bullshit.
But the organization should not be punished for bad ownership. Why should
the organization is the ownership?
So remove the owner. Force out guys like Woody Johnson and Michael Bidwell and Dan Snyder who are the reason why these organizations can't get over the hump in terms of their rebuild, because it's them. They're the sole person making these decisions that trickle down into their organization.
To some degree, I agree with you, because look at Dan Snyder, right? As soon as Dan Snyder's gone, all of a sudden the Washington Commanders are like on the up and up, right?
Yeah, new stadium, making the NFC Championship game.
I just don't.
Do the franchise organizations in the NFL, do they have some sort of like TPA with the NFL? Is there any sort of like monetary supplement? Is there any like, I guess, symbiotic relationship between organizations and the NFL that would incentivize orgs like the Cardinals to
Like remove their owner or like
yeah,
make
like
change?
yeah. Well,
No.
okay, I guess yeah.
I mean,
The
if you
reason that
win the
I'm-
Super Bowl, you're going to get more money, right? If you're a playoff contender, you're going to get more money. You're also
Right,
going to
but
get more people in your seats, which the owners get all of that money. If you're doing better, you're going to get more money in your seats. And so what's happening here is that these owners, really, the reality is that they just don't give a shit. They've got other shit going
and
on.
these
but they don't receive like a stipend or anything from the NFL, right? Like it's they operate completely autonomously from each other, correct?
they
There's got to be some like
there's probably
jersey
a
deals, different
oh
stuff
yeah
like
they
that. Like
majority of their money
logo
comes
stuff.
from their organization, but I'm sure that they each have like a 1 in 32 stake in the NFL as a whole.
media deals,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
But on the flip
right?
side of this, owners don't want bad owners to leave because
Right.
it keeps them at the do you think like
you have to be voted out.
do you think
essentially.
John Lynch or like Les Snead or not John Lynch, Jed York,
Jed York, John,
Jed York,
Jed York,
Les
yeah, it
Snead,
was John York.
or I can't remember the Seahawks. They don't want Michael Bidwell to be fired or to be forced out because that's one less team they have to worry about.
Right.
Everybody in the AFC East wants Woody Johnson to keep owning the Jets. I'm sure Giants, Eagles, Cowboys were super. Now, obviously, Dan Snyder's a very extreme example because he had to be forced out.
Right.
But I'm sure that they were all kind of like, damn, like he kept us afloat. Like that's 2 free wins every year. They were poverty for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Good owners don't want bad owners to leave until their hand is forced into having to remove them.
Yeah, I guess my point is that there's no with the big sports like this, especially ones that are like culturally based. Like, okay, there's a perfect example. Miles, how long have you been a Cardinals fan for?
Probably like
Since the sperm days.
since the sperm days. I didn't shoot out a Cardinals fan,
Since
but
swimming.
I think I started like really watching football when I was like 10,
Okay, and
11.
why-
So like 13 years.
Why the Cardinals?
My dad's a Cardinals fan.
Okay,
It's
so
my
it's a
family's-
generational thing.
It's a
This-
generational
and
curse.
This is exactly like I'm a Dodgers fan because my dad is a Dodgers fan. He was from LA. I wasn't from LA, but I was. It's a generational thing, or it's like that's where you're from. And so the thing is like, Miles, you're never gonna stop being a Cardinals fan because if you do stop being a Cardinals fan, people are gonna accuse you of being a Fairweather fan, and nobody wants to be called that.
A bandwagon.
And this is just true for traditional sports all across the board. Organizations have no incentive beyond just like maybe wanting to get a bigger cut of the pie, or just like maybe the owners are competitive. But the thing is if you have an org that is like the Cardinals that sucks and they are generationally terrible and have been for decades,
Mhm.
they're not losing
that,
any
yeah.
fans. They're not losing necessarily merch sales because people are going to be fans of their team regardless. In a larger sense, like yes, maybe
Here's
there's
what
gonna
they
be
are
a
losing,
couple that
They're going to lose ticket sales.
They're gonna lose engagement. Like, yeah, the average Cardinals fan. I'm a diehard. Like, I bought 3 jerseys in the last calendar year.
Here's
But-
here's something. Look at the Panthers a couple years ago. They were
Everyone
so
was gone.
bad that they
Yeah.
were actually selling tickets for 89 cents because they couldn't get people to the stadium, and people still didn't go.
Now, that's
They
not to
couldn't-
say that they're
they
not
couldn't-
fans of the team, but they're not going to put their money into
Right.
an organization that sucks.
Why would you show up to watch them lose when you can watch them lose on TV at home?
Yeah, but those same fans are going to show up for their home playoff game that they just had this past year.
Right.
Because you got to reward winning behavior. And
yeah, maybe
you're not a
relegation is the answer.
you're not a fake fan if you don't. You're not a fake fan if you don't engage with the team that consistently lets you down and is consistently a losing organization.
Mhm.
Now, I'm one of the few, I'm not buying game tickets this year. I'm not going to spend money to go to a game. I'm not going to buy a jersey. Maybe it's like some knickknacks, some memorabilia, but you're rewarding this behavior that guys like Michael Bidwell need to feel it in their pockets to know that they need to make a change. So I think there's a fine line between being an engaged fan without rewarding a poverty franchise.
Right,
and their
because you're still going to
behaviors.
watch.
Yeah, I'm still going to watch. They could go 0-17 next year. I'm still going to watch.
You're going to watch all 17 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think how did we even get on this conversation? What was the
Brendan Sorsby in relegation.
Did we really?
Wow,
stem
we've
from
really tangented a lot.
Well, I think it's an interesting.
it is an
No, it
interesting
is.
conversation.
I
yeah.
love the way
It
that this
is.
has gone.
Well,
yeah.
And I think the idea, at least to me, is radical. And sometimes, like,
They should threaten it.
well, the NFL's
Yeah.
been operating the way that it has been for like a long time. And maybe, like we've had a couple
We were talking about the
conversations.
refs.
Oh,
We're
right,
talking
the
about the refs
Refs
into
getting
relegated.
yes.
UFL. But
That's right.
we've had conversations on this podcast multiple times about the NFL's viewership and kind of how I don't think it's I don't know that the loss in revenue really means anything right now, but the fact that it's like a conversation that people are even considering having, and that there's so many other factors that go into like the viewing experience, even going back to like the refs and like the officiating in general, that there will be a time eventually when some radical decisions are going to have to be made, and you could even argue that this decision with the refs is a radical decision. But I mean, I think relegation is an interesting conversation to have, because I do think that if you even put that thought out into the ether, it's going to put a little bit of it's going to light it's going to put some fear into the hearts of some owners. It's going to light a fire under some asses. So
Well, and I bet that they're probably looking, maybe this referee thing is a test, and maybe they're starting to look at this and say, how similar can we get to the UFL?
Mm-hmm.
How similar are we going to make these rules? How connected are we going to make the UFL that this is going to become a thing? How much money are we going to pour into them? And if they're going to start to partner with them, we're not as far off from what we're talking about here
In terms of relegation.
Yeah.
I think they should introduce programs for NFL franchise teams to partner with UFL teams.
Well,
I-
it'd be
I
kind of like the
literally- I
G
think
League
that
in
we
the
should.
NBA or the
Right.
minor leagues for the MLB.
And I think we should. And again, I think that this is a great opportunity right now, right, to start partnering, and maybe not so much relegation, but being able to develop players a little bit better,
Yeah.
right?
You could do like mid-season transfers between
Right.
UFL teams that you're partnered with, and then skirt any sort of like regulations that would go around that, so you could actually you could essentially have double the size of a roster.
I think we
And
get
then-
better quarterbacks too. We'd start to get better quarterbacks instead of having to force them out there right out the gate, right? After never playing a snap as a starting quarterback, right? These backup guys could go and finally start to get some real experience at a higher level.
But what do you think that would do to the practice squad?
I think that they'd probably get paid more money, and they'd probably be more secure and solid on their team. They'd have more of a career than what they're doing on the practice squad, which is essentially nothing. And most of those guys end up having no career.
But do you think the tier of UFL active practice squad member of an NFL team,
Why
where's
wouldn't
the
they just practice together?
where's the delineation with that?
Why
It's
would
like
they should just practice together, and the UFL team is the practice squad.
I think that's a great idea, because then you create this kind of like self-regulating system too, of like
Right.
having players that are not only familiar with you're supplementing each other, right? UFL teams are benefiting by getting to practice against more skilled teams,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the same time you kind of open up the ecosystem to more players and potentially more organizations, so that you have an NFL that feels less gated, and then
Right. And then a player like Brendan Sorsby could have a better opportunity, right? Then he could
Yeah.
go play for a UFL team and actually show that, hey, you know what? I know I made a mistake, but I'm actually not that bad of a guy.
Honestly, like
Let's
I
do
was
this.
thinking about that, talking about like he should go play in the UFL or the XFL if they can take him for a year.
Think about the Kurt Warners out there, right? That are bagging freaking groceries.
Yeah,
right?
until they're 25.
That opens up more opportunities for players like that to actually come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, look, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know?
That's also a huge like stimulus injection into the UFL as well. So it creates a more like it creates like a sturdier league across both fields.
Well, and then I think, you don't have to look necessarily at the 53-man roster, right? These guys don't get cut as much. They end up going and instead of getting cut, they just play for the UFL, right? And those rosters just make them however big that they want to make them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It'd essentially be the NFL's G League.
Right.
And I think that is a good idea because NFL scratches, UFL's back, UFL scratches, the NFL's back.
Right.
So it's mutually beneficial, but just don't relegate teams. Don't do that.
I will say, if they went to the G League style, you wouldn't relegate teams.
No.
You couldn't do it.
Because you would have your own farm for your own team. I mean, Aces go feed into the Diamondbacks, right? Yeah. So a system like that.
I think I'd like to see something like that, because then we could get a team up here in Reno.
That'd be sick. And then you and I could walk on. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. You could be starting center.
Yeah.
I could be left tackle.
Yeah. Oh, God. Our poor quarterback. Jesus. We're going up against guys like 3 times.
2-point perspectives.
Yes. Yeah.
We are on to something here.
But yeah, we're gonna take a huge scale back from that. Very
great conversation.
Great conversation.
Yeah, love the combo.
Yeah. And we are going to come to a screeching halt talking about Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson, because Stetson Bennett is reportedly beating out Ty Simpson in Rams minicamp.
Yeah.
To take over the QB2 spot.
Hey, John, I have a question for you. It looks like in our chat somebody got deleted. Was that a...
Oh, yeah. What happened to Profitable?
Was that were they embarrassing us?
No, just a bot.
Oh, spamming?
Yeah, just...
What did it say?
Well, they're trying to get us to buy AI viewers to boost it.
It wasn't like podcast fucker?
No. Just a random... I would never just...
Appreciate you looking out for us.
Throw a ban out there. I only ban bots.
Did you happen to check and see if Jared's credit card information is on the computer? And we could have bought some.
Actually, you wouldn't want to do that, because this is totally unrelated, but Twitch, and I don't know about YouTube, but they'll probably be soon behind. Twitch is putting out a program that is actually going to be like crippling channels that they believe to be using view botting services.
Nice.
That's good. Well, especially like YouTube, yeah. You get paid by the view.
Well, and the thing is that they're like the companies aren't actually making any money off of a view bot, even though like you would think from the outside looking in, like, oh, more viewers is a good thing, but they're not actually marketing or monetizing towards anybody, because those are just they're just computers,
right?
So no, we won't be using any view botting on the show anytime soon.
Thank you, John.
Yes, thank you. You're keeping us safe.
Sorry, Miles, you were talking about the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Ty Simpson. He was never going to be the answer this year. So I don't think this is a big deal, but...
Well, Stetson Bennett knows the system, too.
Yeah, he's been there longer.
Right.
He has been that QB2 before. He's played in actual games. So it's not surprising, but I don't think people need to freak out about this, because Ty Simpson is still such a raw prospect. Well, coming out of college, he had 12 starts.
Neither of them are going to start over Matthew Stafford, so who
and
cares?
Stafford could play for another 2-3 years.
Right.
So that's still going to be an investment. He's still going to learn McVay's system, get more reps, stuff like that. But I thought it was interesting because people were kind of like freaking out. People were freaking out when he got drafted 13th overall anyway. So now that they're seeing like, oh, no, there's no ROI right now, it's like, okay, we can chill out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sweating that. I'm excited to see him in the preseason, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, that's going to be valuable for him.
Moving on from the Rams quarterback battle for the number 2 spot. Brenton Strange signed a 3-year, $48 million deal with $25 million guaranteed with the Jaguars.
That's your boy right
over there. Yes, he is. I always am hyping up Brenton Strange. Last season, I was calling him a sleeper.
Yep.
And he came out and he performed. Performed. So,
and he would have been on my. Oh man, do you remember the Derrick Henry trade that we had?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That you declined. Right?
No, I accepted that, and then you redacted the trade because
I should have let you have it. I should have given you Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Because he had like I can't remember why.
I was trying to fleece you. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. But Brenton Strange would have been on my roster had that trade gone through. Yeah, he kind of he had himself a little nice year, and that obviously that contract doesn't compare to the Kyle Pitts, but.
Well, Brenton Strange is not Kyle Pitts. But
yeah. Well, but Kyle Pitts is an otherworldly.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is no Trey McBride or George Kittle, but he's closer to that echelon of the market than Brenton Strange is, who I think can be just as serviceable for a way cheaper deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good for him. I'm glad. And, they need to get their weapons in Jacksonville right because – Brian Thomas, who knows what's going to happen to him? Running back who just left. What was his name?
Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne. He's no longer there. Or is he there? I'm not. Yeah,
He's
I was going to say.
now.
Yeah. So they're losing these guys and they're having these players up in the air. Brenton Strange can be a stable tight end for you right now. So you lock him down, and who knows if he exploded this year and you didn't have him signed, then you're going to have to give him some real cheese. So. I think that's a good signing for your boy. For sure.
I think so as well. All right, moving on. We weren't going to talk about him this week. We talked about him for like 3-4 weeks in a row.
We're talking about two of your boys back to back.
Oh man, Brandon Ayuk though. We can't. Apparently, we can't go a week without having some more drama. I thought that it was done. I thought he was going to start to try to stay quiet, but
he dialed it up to 11.
Yeah, he decided to crank it up to 100. And so he first started a couple days ago by posting online that he is the best wide receiver in the world. So watch out, Justin Jefferson, because Jamar Chase does not hold a candle to Brandon Ayuk, apparently.
No, of course not.
And then today, well, either today or yesterday, he posted another video of himself, and he's in a closet, an empty closet, by the way. And he's got a bag of money and he's just throwing it on the ground, just like trying to show off and say that he doesn't need the money or that they've already, just like mocking essentially the 49ers. And at this point, man, it's just tired. It's just played out. And I've been seeing this on a lot of other podcasts too. No team wants you, man. No team wants you like that. You're just destroying your career. And at this point, without him coming out and publicly apologizing, I just don't see his career going any further than where it is right now.
I think we're way past apologizing
at
this point. Even if he did come out and apologize,
he'd really have to take a lot of onus publicly.
The guy, he has to go into like personality rehab to like.
Well, he'd probably have to do that too. He'd probably have to be like, I'm going to get help.
Yeah.
Like, publicly admit
counseling
that,
or therapy or
go through all. Like it would be a whole cycle of him like publicly putting that out there. And without that, at this point, he's just cooked. But I did think that it was funny that he was throwing money around an empty closet because as soon as I saw it, I said he probably sold all of his clothes to get the money, the cash for that that video. And then as soon as I checked the comments, it was like the second or third comment on there. Somebody said the same thing.
And he had to pick all that money up and go rush to the ATM.
That's what somebody else said too.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just thinking about the fact that he had to pick it all up afterwards.
Yeah. It's so goofy, bro. I mean, come on. And now, here's the thing. And he's talking a lot about the Commanders. Commanders. He wants to go play with his boy, Jaden Daniels.
Commanders don't need him, man.
He wants to play alongside Terry McLaurin. Now, would the Commanders sign him for a vet min? I think they would.
If the Niners release him.
If they release him, then I think a lot of teams would sign him for a vet man.
But
doesn't he seem like a perfect Pittsburgh receiver? Like, I think Pittsburgh.
So I did see something that said that it would be a trade. I don't remember who the third team was, but
a 3-team trade. Yes,
trade, where Ayuk would go to somebody. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't remember who it was. Who the third team was? Maybe it was the Browns or something. Somebody would go to Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh would get a pick or something like that, and the Niners would get DK.
There's no way in hell that is happening. I've seen some of these 3-team
first round
trades.
pick for DK Metcalf.
If it was a first round pick, yeah, it probably would happen.
I mean, if the Niners sent Ayuk and cash to somebody, and they're only giving, or Ayuk and picks to somebody else, and they're only getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
DK Metcalf.
They could
stay out.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Stay out of the NFC West, please. We just got rid of you. We don't need the Roid Rager back in California. But
the Roid Rager. I don't think it's going to happen. It was just an interesting. It was an interesting.
I've seen those 3-team trades that you were talking about, like Bleacher Report and all that. And some of the Cardinals ones, I was like, what in the fuck? Like, what dumbass is doing these trades? I saw
Miles.
I saw they trade Michael Wilson.
Those are the most realistic ones.
No, I saw they trade. I don't even give a shit who these other teams were. They trade Michael Wilson and Jacoby Brissett in like 2 separate mock trades, and in return they get 3 4th-round picks. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, no.
How long have you been a Cardinals fan?
Like more than half my life.
We just talked about
like
12 or
years.
13.
Just like. I know, but I think, would you really be that surprised if that was something that happened?
Yes, I would be. Given the context of this year with Monty Austinfort, the general manager, you could trade Jacoby Brissett for like a marble, and I don't care. But if you trade Michael Wilson for anything less than a 2nd-round pick, I would be absolutely infuriated. And like, he would lose his job. Like, if he did that.
What are you going to do with your jersey if he does that?
Thankfully, I don't have... Well, not thankfully. I do want a Mike Willie jersey. But if I had a Michael Wilson
you got a Marv jersey, huh?
I got a Marv jersey, so he really needs to turn out because that was an investment.
Michael Wilson's not worth a 2nd-round pick, man.
But he's also not worth a 4th. After the year he had, he's wide receiver 1 right now. 100%.
Over Marv?
Yes.
You got to be joking my ass.
In terms of what he has shown, he has been the more consistent receiver. Marv obviously has the way higher ceiling. Marv has the higher floor right now. These are 2 seasons of Marvin Harrison Jr. His rookie season, fine. Not like 4th overall pick standards.
Who's throwing the ball?
It depends. Kyler Murray was throwing him the ball, but he never had that connection.
Kyler Murray fits in a booster seat.
That's true, but he also never gave Michael Wilson the ball. Until Jacoby Brissett came in and gave Michael Wilson the ball, he had an infinitely better connection with Brissett than Marv did.
And now, that's what you can chalk that up to. I'm sorry, but that's what you could chalk that up to. Marv is leagues above Michael Wilson.
In terms of ceiling, but he hasn't had the production.
Because he's not getting the ball from the backup quarterback that's currently holding your entire organization hostage.
He also just doesn't have that dog in him right now. I'm sorry. Marv has struggled with dropping the ball, running wrong routes, getting hurt. He's gotten hurt a lot. Michael Wilson is, as of right now,
I like Michael Wilson.
I think he's a good receiver.
I'm not saying that.
But this all stemmed from a stupid 3-team trade.
You're just blowing my mind right now.
You're not trading a core weapon of that offense for a 4th-round pick when he's, as of right now, the better receiver in the market.
How many picks was it?
3/4.
I don't know, man. That sounds not that bad.
No, that is not worth it.
No.
That is
whatever you say, Miles. It's your team.
Yeah, Michael Wilson, as of right now, is the wide receiver 1. And don't get me wrong, I want Marv to be the wide receiver 1. He needs to show it. But he just hasn't. He still has to figure it out.
Maybe when he's got a quarterback that can actually throw him the ball, then we'll see it. But
yeah, we shall see.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on from this topic too. We've talked a lot about the NFL here. This is a very long segment.
Can you tell we miss it?
I know. Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, you came into this saying this was going to be a short episode. We're almost at 90 minutes already. So
dang, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to our last game. It'll be our last segment of the show.
Yeah.
And like Miles said, can you tell that it's the NFL off season? Because this is what we're doing right now. John, why don't you pull up the game? And essentially,
this is credit to NFL Instagram.
Yes, it is. We did steal this from NFL Instagram. But I think a decision here needs to be made. How would a football wear headphones? Would it be sideways,
both on the tips,
or long ways?
I think the way you guys answer this question will tell me whether or not you watched Hey Arnold.
I already know the answer to mine, and it is
Hey Arnold answer.
It is the Hey Arnold answer. Yeah,
there's just something about number one, fitting on the tips.
It's not. He doesn't even have ears on the other one.
Yeah, fitting it on the tips just like scratches my brain and the pulleys and wires of.
I genuinely believe it's because right. Hey Arnold. If Hey Arnold didn't exist, this would be.
It's not only that, but like look at the logo. What whose head is just like sideways like that? Like. What are we talking about here? Obviously, the laces are the top of the head.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's the hair,
right? Valid.
And it's just got
look, he's got a little mouth across the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that
he's just got a big ass line going down the middle of their face like that.
Yeah, that anatomically fits.
I'm just saying.
Anatomically.
Next one.
Anatomically.
Irish wristwatch.
Dude, I was getting so pissed because I'm like trying to say it and I could say it, but it's harder because I've got the bass in my ear. Sorry, this is a throwback to last week, but I've got the bass in my ears and it's just like boof, boof, boof. I'm like Irish wristwatch.
Yeah. What did I say? Anatomically?
Yeah, you said anatomically.
Anatomically.
Which I can only assume refers to the anatomics of animatronics.
Yes.
I think that's fair.
Freddy Fazbear.
All right, John, give us the next one.
Yeah, number 2.
Ooh.
Now, this one, I
know my answer.
I'm going to go with number 2.
What do you think, John?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think that. So I'm approaching all of these very logically.
Sorry, hold on. Let's for the audio listeners, let's give them.
Sure. So
so how would a football field wear a chain? And there's obviously long ways and then vertical. So horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
So that's what we're discussing here now.
Yeah. So I think all of my answers come from a cultural logic. And so for the last one, it was Hey Arnold. His head was shaped like a football, so it's easy to imagine Hey Arnold wearing headphones that way. This way, the cultural reference that I'm using in my head is how often people say X football fields as like a unit of measurement. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it only makes sense that it would be top down because the length of a football field, if you imagined it as a person,
that's how it would be standing.
It would be standing, yes. It would be horizontal. So for me, 2 is the clear answer.
I look at it more as like the neck.
Right, that's what I was thinking is the neck.
And then like the chest underneath the chain.
Right.
And so like that one anatomically makes sense.
Well, and like imagine if you're the top one, right? Like you just have this fat short neck.
Yeah.
Like you're just head on shoulders.
Dude, you could yank that chain right off. Like don't wear that out in public.
So we're all in agreement here. It's number 2. There's only one right answer.
I think that's easy.
Okay.
And I don't even remember what the third one was.
I know what the third one is, and I think that we're gonna have differing opinions on this one. So
really,
John,
I think this is the easiest one.
Oh man. Okay, Jared, can you explain this to the audio only?
Yeah. Okay. So our third picture here is a picture of 2 goalposts, and they're wearing belts. And one is wearing the belt around the top 2 posts, and the other one has the belt around the bottom base.
Can I just need to interject here and say that I think both of these are wrong.
Yeah, I don't think either of these really like.
I think
I need to know what you're talking about.
If it's me, you guys can see the mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
The belt should really be here, right at the bottom of the U,
instead of at his feet,
like where the T is,
because that's clearly where the waistline would be.
Right.
If you like blur your eyes when you look at this and imagine you're just looking at a very square person, the posts is obviously a torso.
Okay, so I have thoughts on this. All of a sudden, I actually have some thoughts on this now, because initially my first thought was that number 2, where the belt is on the around the bottom post, I was like, dude, that's got to be it, right? Because the belt needs to be lower. But here's the thing: if we're saying that the waistline is actually where the like horizontal post is, then that belt would be at his feet, and that's just not acceptable. And so at this point, right, where the belt is on number 1 is at the waist. Now, you could have high-waisted pants, right? This goalpost could have high-waisted pants.
Sure.
It could be a fashion statement,
It's
right,
like
around the
an
waist
upside-down
too.
Cyclops. Like instead of one eye, it's just one leg right down the middle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so he's just hopping around. But I mean, I'm just like, that could be a fashion statement as well, right? People wear belts around their waist as a fashion statement. So I feel like, if anything, like, who wears a belt around their feet? Nobody. Nobody does that. And so I feel like it's got to be number 1 at this point now. Now things are changing.
But how do we know the bottom of the goalpost isn't its pants?
I'm just saying, well, dude, like, if it was its pants, it would have to start where the red is, not at the very, very bottom. Like, that's clearly its feet.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, the one that makes the most sense is right here, like right in this area.
We're not seeing it.
Is it where they?
There we go.
Yeah. No, if there was a third option in that area, that would be my pick. But
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with you.
But I mean, there's something about the little belt on like the Red Rocket that just makes sense. Like, I think
I don't know. I think I'm inclined to agree with Jared here. I think of the two, the one that makes the most sense.
If we're putting logic to it.
Well,
you guys are doing the anatomy
Freddy
thing here.
Fazbear.
Yes. I'm just coming at it from like, I don't know. I feel like the red
Wait, I'm sorry.
the red cushion.
What other way is there to look at how something would wear a belt other than anatomically?
Because like because I'm like just thinking that the red cushion is its pants. And that's
Yeah, right. But even if it is its pants, that's like basically its knees. Who wears a belt around their knees?
So are you saying, let's just imagine the red, for number 1, the red goes all the way up to where you guys coined the baseline or the waistline, where the belt is.
Think about it like this. This area here, this is how I see it. The bottom part of the posts, the U, the like connecting post here, the horizontal
post.
This is like the modern day waist.
Right.
Where it's not really the waist, but it's where everybody wears their pants now, which is like slightly below the waist.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it like that, then yes, this number 1 does have like the high-waisted variant.
It would be the torso. Right?
The literal waist.
So that would be.
So are you guys like looking at this like like it's upside down?
No,
No.
I think there's two ways
got
to see
two
this,
heads.
Miles.
Kind of almost, or like this would be the head.
Yeah, you're either in number 2. This
God,
is
what an
either,
airhead that would be. Jeez.
In number 2, the post, the goal opening is
Mhm.
literally a head, because that's the only way this makes sense animatronically.
Animatronically.
Whereas in number 1, you kind of get a picture of the whole body.
Should we just clip that and make John look like a dumbass?
Yeah, they have to watch the whole
just
episode to
just
know
that
it
one
didn't-
part.
He's not the originator of that. Okay, John, I'm gonna go with your third made up option of it going in that area.
No, I agree. I think
Like,
that is the most logical.
I
But
don't-
out of these two,
I hate both of these.
though, it's got to be number 1 based off the conversation that we had. Like, I'm saying that initially when I first saw this, I was like, 2, no problem. But that's obviously not the case, right? Because either the belt's around his knees or his ankles, and that's just not acceptable. I'm
Also,
sorry.
2 is stupid, because if you look at number 1, the belt is actually doing something, whereas in 2, it's
Right.
just sort of like floating in negative space. It's like, it's not even really a belt.
It's holding the goalposts together. It's keeping them from falling down.
Yeah.
Right.
Function over fashion, Miles.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but what if the cushion falls off?
It's not even holding the cushion.
The cushion is in the ground.
Look at how much space. You got like a foot on each side.
Well, you just got to tighten it a little bit. He's a snatched waist.
He's snatched.
I would say like visually 1 looks better, but ergonomically 2 looks like makes more sense.
I don't think you used that word correctly.
I
That's
don't
fine.
think that you did either. Yeah. Do you know what ergonomical stands for?
I do, but
Ergonomical, is that the word?
Ergonomic.
Ergonomic?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
ergonomical.
Apparently,
I don't fucking know what it means either.
I think it's just ergonomic.
Ergonomic.
yeah, John, could you explain that for the audio listeners?
What ergonomic means?
Yeah.
I'll do my best without looking
Some
up a
people might not
definition.
know.
I think without looking up a definition, the best
It's like
way
the
to
safest
describe
way to
it
do something.
is no ergonomic is the way that conserves the most resource.
Yeah, energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say energy, but you
Alright.
could apply ergonomic to things that are not energy based, right? So like the ergonomic decision is the ergonomic method is the way that conserves the most of your resources while accomplishing the same thing.
That's basically word for word what I was going to say. So,
Yeah.
Based off of the
do you
based
see,
off of
so
what
do
you
see
said
now,
about the
do you see now
goalpost
why
here?
2 makes more sense?
Man.
Yeah. Well, okay, if we're doing ergonomics,
Ergonomically.
if we're doing ergonomics in terms of resources, there's more oxygen.
Well, there's no
between the
oxygen in
cushion
oil
and
because
the
it's
belt.
not
Red is
alive.
the socks, okay?
Yeah, but like there's more oxygen in between the socks
They're
and
high
the
weight. They're high
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 waist.
socks.
belt. Yeah.
Can I draw on this?
I don't
They're
think this is
clearly thigh high
necessary.
socks, Miles.
Yeah, and they look great. But like
Why would you wear your belt around your thigh highs?
they could slide down. Like if you just
Here we
shaved
go.
your legs and they were pretty smooth.
Okay, so
You're gonna mark them up.
yeah, we'll do a markup here. Okay, so this is basically the 2 ways that you can look at this. You've got, whoa, that's a big ass eye. This is the head.
Right.
It's Bart Simpson. Okay.
He's holding hands with 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, so 2 makes sense.
This is one way of
John
looking
had to
at it.
draw. He actually had to draw it out for you there.
And then also you have this, which is like, remember, this is just like one leg, so we'll put a little shoe on it.
Okay, styling.
This should help you guys visualize it a little
I
more.
feel like
but now that I've
This
drawn
makes
it,
look number 2 make
yeah,
better.
it does
look
make
better.
number 2 look a lot better.
Right, but I feel like you had to do so much more to make 2 look like that. But maybe not.
I mean,
now I kind of feel like a dumbass. But no, because you added legs to the bottom of that. Like the bottom of the
that's the
goalpost
only-
is just the bottom of the
yeah,
goalpost.
but that's the only way.
There's
the
no
belt,
other legs down
That's the only way the belt makes any sense. That's the problem.
Ergonomic sense.
I have another thought of how this would have gone.
Okay, do you want me to erase everything?
No.
We could start over.
No, I think we should probably end the show.
Yeah, 2 looks way
What
better.
the hell is this?
Whoa.
I don't know what's happening at
I
this
don't
point.
think that's how erasers work.
Oh,
Oh my
man.
god.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, we were all over the place today, but it was a
I
fun
know.
episode. Yeah, so if you guys stuck around the entire time, shout out to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna redraw that and I'm gonna send it to you how I think. I will put it in the Discord how I think that it should that should have looked.
I just don't know like how much different
are
it
gonna
could
It's
be.
just gonna be like a film noir
Yeah.
montage of Jared like with like there's empty bottles of rum everywhere
Yeah.
and he's his tie's all loose and he's just
Yeah.
like he's trying to like solve the Zodiac murder.
I finally made it anatomical.
Anatomical. All right. Thank you so much, Miles. Thank you, John, as well for all of your input
Yes,
and for the
yeah.
drawing. That really helped and also made me feel much worse about myself
If
afterwards.
anything, I think it should have made us feel better because maybe we were just misunderstanding the prompt the first time around.
You guys do
specifically, Jared.
I no, dude. I just think that like the bottom of the goalpost is the bottom of the goalpost. You can't just add feet. You just can't just add legs to the bottom.
And what do you call your pants?
I guess unless
Bottoms.
it's, but maybe it was well, maybe it was sitting though.
Maybe it's Lieutenant Dan.
And maybe he was sitting.
Yeah,
he could have been sitting. I don't know, but now I feel stupid. So. All right, guys.
All right, Jared, send us off.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. And remember, I didn't do one this week. We'll see you next week.